Isn't that cool? We're gonna make one today on Alley Picked. This is poplar wood. I think it's one of the more underappreciated wood species. It does have some beautiful grain. You often see this stuff in furniture use. However, it's usually covered up with veneer. They use it as a base, but it's pretty lightweight. You can get long lengths that are very straight, so it's really gonna make, I think, the perfect wood for today's project. I cut up my poplar boards on my table saw, and this is what I end up with. I have 2 pieces for the tabletop, the size can vary, 4 supports, 4 legs, 6 horizontal braces, although I'll probably only use 4. My sample table uses 2 on each side, but I don't like the diagonal brace, so I'm going to use 2 horizontal braces on each side. I'll have a parts list with dimensions in the video description. Some people may be in a hurry and skip this step, but I wouldn't. These perpendicular marks to the grain are called mill marks. They're on almost all wood you buy these days, unless you pay extra for it not to be. I'm going to sand all 4 sides to remove mill marks as well as my table saw blade marks. This is 80 grit on my belt sander. If you use any less grit, it's going to take you quite a while to remove all of these marks. On the 4 table supports, I'm rounding one end of each piece. I'll use this compass, which is set to 1/2 of the wood width. I draw a curve, and I'm going to use the center point as the center for my 7/8 inch dowels. I'm going to make these same curves and holes at the top of each of my 4 leg supports. Now I've got all my pieces very well sanded. I've got all the curves cut, the holes drilled, the dowels cut. Now the fun part, putting this all together. The original table has screws going through the top. I don't want to do that, so my screws are going to come up from the bottom. To do that, I'm going to drill 2 pilot holes. One 3/16 hole all the way through and a 3/8 inch hole partially through. Just enough so that my screw comes up from the bottom, but not all the way through and punctures through the top. That would be bad. I'm also drilling pilot holes for the 4 horizontal braces. Now I'm going to assemble the inner and the outer set of legs. Now I realize that I am doing a lot of various assembly, and it's pretty difficult to follow along what I'm doing in a video. However, if there are enough people who comment and would like a more detailed pattern, I'll consider making that available. So this is the critical part right here. Everything here hinges on the hinge. The hinge is actually this dowel. It's 1 5/8 long by 7/8 diameter. I have to insert that into the correct spot so that it's the pivot point right here, you can see. So that's what I'm trying to duplicate here. So I measured this one. It's 11 5/8 inches from the top. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to measure 11 5/8 and drill my hole right there, and I hope it works. I have no instructions. I'm just going off of the sample. I'm drilling pilot holes at the top of each leg. Then I'm going to insert a nail to hold the peg in place, as the pegs in the 4 legs should not turn. I just finished building my foldable table. I'd say that it took me about 8 hours to complete. Now, I didn't have any instructions, and the hardest part was actually trying to figure out where to install and drill the holes for those hinge pegs. Now, even though I provide you with some measurements, it's still going to be challenging if you decide to make one of these for yourself. It's a little bit harder than it looks. Now, I think it came out really good, and I do like the variations in the poplar wood. Now, you can leave this table just like it is and call it a day, or you can stain it. You can put some polyurethane on it. Now, my plan is to give this a wax finish. This way it's going to protect the wood. It's also going to lubricate the wood and make those moving parts slide a little bit easier. For waxing the table, I have two things. I'm going to be using this Rolling Dog waxing brush and my own Slip and Shine wax concoction. What's a waxing brush, you say? Well, a waxing brush is basically like a paintbrush, only it's thicker, it has a lot more bristles, and it kind of comes to a little bit of a tapered point. This helps you put on a lot of wax and then brush it into the nooks and crannies of your project. Now, this is my Slip and Shine wax. I make this, but it's also available to you on BigBearNaturals.com. As far as the brush goes, I'm going to be giving away 2 of these brushes. If you want to know how to win one, check out my future video on waxing furniture. I'll tell you how you can get yourself one of these. Oh, one more thing before I start waxing, I want to blow out all the dust on this piece of furniture. So I've sanded it, but there's still a lot of dust that remains inside of the grain. So I've got my air compressor. I'm going to blow out all of the grains. That way I'm not going to seal in dust and dirt when I put on my wax. This is my Slip and Shine product, which I just made in bulk and put it in this really cool old oil can. This is really quite amazing. Look at the beautiful finish that this wax is providing. Unbelievable. It looks totally different. You almost would never guess that this is poplar wood. After waxing it, you could just leave the wax on, let it dry overnight, and then you can buff it. Or you could just wipe it down as it is. It might have more of a matte look, but either way, it looks great. I'm just admiring my work. This is such a cool, portable, foldable table. It's 37 inches tall, but you can proportionally make one smaller if you wanted to. I really like it. I love the way it turned out. I like the different colors of the poplar grain. This thing is amazing. I love it. It's really great. You can make one too. I hope you learned something today. I'm Tom. This is Alley Picked, and thanks for watching.